All right. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whichever time zone you're listening in. It's Saturday, March 25th, 2023, and we are your hosts, Jason Scott.
And David Reagan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, if you're looking to find us, you can do that at paranormal411.org. You can also find us at Paranormal411 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We're also on all of your favorite podcast platforms. Join us.
Oh, join us.
Join us.
Hey, tonight we got a pretty interesting show.
Oh, if you can see right there, we're going to be talking about some reverse speech. Oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about reverse speech. But, you know, first of all, we got to get tuned in.
Oh.
With David Reagan.
Thank you. You know, we're talking about manifesting and bringing things into your life. So I figured we'd talk about manifesting some money. What do you think about that? Everybody always needs money. So first we need to remember that like attracts like. So we need to change our beliefs about money. Some of these are as follows, right? We hear it every day. Money doesn't grow on trees, or money can't buy me happiness. These beliefs will not allow us to get into the right mindset to manifest. So what we can do to get ourselves ready to manifest is to get into the habit of using positive affirmations. So to use some positive affirmations, they're kind of like this. I'm creating all the money that I need and want to accomplish everything I need to do in life. Or I remove all obstacles preventing my cash flow. So things like this will open you up to be able to start manifesting these kinds of things into your life. Like money. You can do it for love. You can do it for all kinds of things, right?
Love.
Love. I wouldn't say love. Well, yeah, love. So the next thing that we need to do is to visualize that you already have this money. So just like we did with the positive affirmations, we need to visualize it as if we've already have it. So remember, like attracts like. And if you will be attracting the lack of the object instead of the thing itself. So to avoid this, ask yourself, how would I feel if I already had more money? Right? Then stick to those feelings as if you already have received them. This way the universe hears, I already have money, then you will attract it. So remember, the attitude of gratitude will take you far. Just be grateful for what you have now, and truly be grateful for something that also tends to eliminate any limiting beliefs that you have. So being grateful for what you already have eliminates those beliefs that limit you. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it will make you more receptive to new opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Sounds good.
You know, the thing that we have to remember about any of these manifestations or anything like that, in all my readings and everything that I've done, there's one thing that stands out, and a person put it this way. You're wanting to manifest, we're saying, there's a 4K race coming up and you want to win it. And you're sitting there just, I'm going to win this race. I'm going to win this race. But you don't put in the work, right? You don't go running every day. You don't change your diet. You don't, do anything to help yourself. You just think that straight manifesting, this is how people think that this doesn't work, right? You have to put in the work also. Yeah. It doesn't just come through osmosis, right? And so, we have to put in the work to get this to work properly. So I have a few quotes for us this week. One of them is from, actually two of them is from the same person, Rhonda Byrne. One of them says, we receive exactly what we see. See yourself living in an abundance, and that's what you will attract. Pretty cool, right? Another one from the same person is, the better you feel about money, the more money that you magnetize to yourself.
Money.
Where
me money?
That's right. I want me gold. And then Deepak Chopra says that money is life energy that we exchange and use as a result of the service we provide to the universe.
Deepak said that?
Deepak. Yep.
Oh.
That's exactly what they said. I don't know, but that's what they said. So just remember that, if you're wanting to manifest money and things into your life, you do have to put in the hard work. But at the same time, you also, need to be there mentally. So, and then you'll attract it. The universe will see that you need it, and it's there. Iger says, heck yeah.
All right.
Woo. So that's what I have for the day.
All right.
What do you think, Jason?
Well, that's pretty good. Remember, everybody, we still have a book.
Yes. Remember, you can find our book on Amazon. Search for East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great coffee table book. I love it.
Great. All right, before we get into the
what are we going to be talking about tonight?
Reverse speech.
Oh, that's right there.
If you don't know what that means, which I'm sure most everybody does, it's subliminal messaging.
Yes.
Backwards masking back in the 80s,
What's up, Iger? Yeah. That's the thing, right? And when we come back, we'll start getting into this, but my background growing up in the church, this was like something I remember big time, being a young kid.
Yeah, it's devil music.
Listen to that devil music. Remember, we are live on Spreaker. We're also on Facebook and YouTube Live right now. What's up, everybody? In Facebook and YouTube Live. And we want to thank John Sieber for allowing us to use some of his music in our intro, right? You can find him in Spirals. And we will be back here in a minute. Remember, you're listening to Paranormal 411, hoster Jason Scott, David Reagan. Tonight, we're going to be talking about some reverse speech. And we'll be back right after this quick break.
Hey, this is Eddie from Legends and Lore Pizzeria, and I listen to Paranormal 401. Love y'all and keep it squatchy.
In a world on the edge of oblivion, go to paranormal411.org for all of your paranormal, extraterrestrial, and cryptid needs.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Paranormal411. Join us on the website at paranormal411.org. It's free to sign up and become a member. All of our upcoming shows are on the guest and events page. You can also listen to past shows on the website as well. And if you like the show and want to support us, you can do that by becoming a premium member for only $2 a month. Thanks for listening to Paranormal 411. Join us.
This is Jeff Reagan of the band Catalyst. Visit Paranormal 411. Click on our link on the right-hand side to listen to or purchase any of our albums on BandLab.
Hey, this is Eddie from Legends and Lore Pizzeria in Madisonville, Tennessee. Cool little pizza shop with a paranormal and cryptid theme. Just voted best pizza in Monroe County. Follow us on Facebook at Legends and Lore Pizzeria to get the latest updates and hours, specials, and new menu items.
I travel down this long and winding road. It takes me further from my home. Where it leads me, I may never know. My only purpose is to roam. Never knowing what the day may bring. Less traveled is the road I'm on. Maybe one day I will change my ways. Till then they call me vagabond.
All right, we're back.
All right, after that short little break. Hey, Adam. Thanks for loving the show, and I'm glad that you love to hear about the show tonight. And we look forward to definitely bringing you what we got. I want to say that the inspiration for this, I was watching a show on YouTube. It's called the Why Files. Pretty cool little show. And now it's not like ours. It's not a live show. It's all produced and everything, but it's pretty cool. But I was watching it, really listening to it because I was driving down the road, right? And this episode came on, so I was like, oh wait. This sounds pretty dang cool. I've got to dig into this David Oates stuff, and asked Jason to start looking it up, and Jason started looking it up, and I was looking at it and was like, yeah, we've got to do a show on this, because anybody that's of our age especially went through the late 80s, early 90s and stuff of, backward masking, devil's music, right? All the rock and roll had this bad stuff in it,
So it's Quentin.
Oh, what's up, Quentin? How you doing, buddy? And,
Yeah, I heard a lot of, that's devil music, that's devil music.
it's funny because that's what I was.
Then they break out the tapes
Yes.
of the preacher going off on the dollar bill and
All the symbolism.
yeah, and the music and woo-wee.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, having to go to special Saturday churches just for these speakers that would come in. And I was young. And, they'd be sitting there talking about all these subliminal messages that are put into this music. And it's telling you to, worship Satan and all this other stuff. And
it was like a battle between both of them, good and evil.
yes.
And subliminally, they can control you.
Yes. Well,
It's possible.
We all know from early movie theaters that used to put in that 1 second poop that come on, and it would say, "Eat more popcorn, drink Coke."
Roger's in the house.
What's up, Roger? And when those things would pop up, and then they would go to a break, they would get 30% more sales
Yeah.
until it was supposedly outlawed. But, you know, I guess we really don't go to breaks anymore in the middle of a movie either. But,
No.
but, you know, the thing is that with stuff like this, with this reverse speech right here, right? Or backward masking, as most of us older people know it as. What really started the culture was what? The Beatles.
Yeah. The Beatles.
The Beatles started it. But what's funny is that a lot of the things that these preachers were talking about were purposely put in. After all these other people started hearing what was in the Beatles albums, some of them, and I won't say all, but some of them started purposefully putting backward masked messages into their songs.
Yeah.
So people could listen to them. And the wife and I was listening to some upstairs, and one of them was, what is his name? He does all those parody.
Weird Al.
Weird Al. And one of his was funny. It was like, you have too much time on your hands to be listening to this backwards. He actually put that in one of his songs. So, I mean, it just shows that the pop culture created something else out of it. Now, what happened on the Beatles albums? I mean, that's pretty crazy stuff, and a crazy story that goes along with it.
Yeah. You think he's
Dead?
You think he's dead?
Think
He
Paul's
might be
dead?
now. Is he now? I don't know, but
I thought Paul. I don't know. Maybe.
or his twin may be dead now.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The man who took his position.
But on one of those backwards, you can hear him say, "I buried Paul."
I buried Paul. He says it. I mean, it's clear. It's clear. And a lot of them talk about some of the album covers, different album covers, where behind his head, someone's hand is like that. And they said that it has two meanings. One is that someone's dead, and the other is that it's like a preacher blessing someone that's dead. And it's only over him and nobody else.
Hmm.
Multiple times. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's pretty fascinating. Tonight we're going to get into quite a few things. We've got a bunch of JFK files.
Oh yeah.
And maybe even some Apollo astronaut stuff, because, well, why not? If you're going to open up the can of worms, you just open them all up, right? I know you had something to say, Jason. You was wanting to talk a little bit about the subconscious mind.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna explain. You know what your subconscious actually does. It's part of the mind that is not in the state of awareness. It contains the memory banks, thought generators, emotion generators, sensory input controls, and a dedicated storage space for habits. So you could actually put it on autopilot and let it just take over. It's the part of your brain that makes you breathe when you're sleeping. It practically runs the body.
Right.
It's responsible for recording events, producing thoughts and emotions. Well, so that's your subconscious.
Roger says Paul's still with us.
Is he? His twin is.
Or his lookalike. They said that they had a lookalike contest, and that's who took over. So David Oates, the guy that we're going to be talking about a little bit tonight, describes reverse speech as another form of human communication that works alongside the forward speech communications. So the unconscious thoughts, as forward speech communicates to our conscious thoughts. However, we are thinking and feeling at the time of speaking can be heard in the sounds of our speech backwards. So what he's saying is that our reverse speech is what our unconscious mind, what Jason was talking about just a second ago, is what our unconscious mind is thinking, feeling, at the time you're speaking, encodes these into the conscious speech. So therefore, David Oates says that out of every 4 or 5 minute speech, he could usually get something out of anybody, and it will convey more truth about what the person's talking about than what they're saying most of the time, unless they're actually being truthful. So I don't know, at the same time, he actually does this for a living now. He has people come in and they'll talk to him. He'll reverse speech it, and he helps them through emotional problems and all kinds of other stuff. He has a pretty interesting story, though. And it kind of goes like this. So the whole thing that Jason and I was talking about with the backward masking of music and all that stuff was going on late 80s, early 90s and stuff. And at the time, I guess he was a youth pastor. And he didn't believe it. He was like, this is kind of a bunch of BS or something. And they listened to, I don't remember exactly what it was, but they listened to something. And I think it was the Beatles. But they actually heard a message in it. And he was like, well, this is interesting. So he decided to start doing some research of his own, and then decided to start going into political speeches and things like that. What got him on the map or the radar of the government was Operation Desert Storm. He started going over not only the president's speeches, but a lot of the people that were coming on and speaking that was in the cabinet and different things. And this one word kept popping up. And forgive me, but I don't remember what it is. But if you go on his website, I'm sure you can find it. But he started wondering, what the heck is this word? What does it mean? I don't understand. So he looked it up, and it's actually a storm that happens in the deserts out in Saudi Arabia. These big windstorms will kick up, and these big, it'll blow sand everywhere. Well, every once in a while, these things will get so bad that, they'll get 100+ degrees inside there. And, but these are called desert storms. But that word was like, I guess, the word that the Saudis and stuff use for it. And so he posted it up about Desert Storm. Well, he immediately pretty much got called in for a meeting from a few of the 3-letter agencies. And after a few days of them occupying his time, he went back home. And, look at that. So, not long after he got home, like a week after he got home, his home got shot up. He posted some videos that he was working on the JFK assassination, where he was finding these crazy backwards messages. And he got a phone call that says, "Leave Kennedy alone." And about a week or so later, while he was downstairs working, his house caught on fire. And it was arson. And he had a tape actually on record at that time. And a few things got lost, or quite a bit of things got lost in the fire. But he has 3 people that was recorded during that time. Him and his family was running for their lives out the door, talking and whispering and trying to find files. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. So, that's just a little bit about him. And I think that if anyone that's listening to this has got into ghost hunting or anything like that, these are a lot like EVPs, right? So I think you have grades. You have some that are very clear, pretty precise. Some that are pretty dang muggled up that you can't hear everything. And then some of them where it just makes no dang sense at all, right? So I guess you got to take it all with a grain of salt. But it's funny that he was able to come up with Desert Storm before the Desert Storm actually happened and things like that. And got the attention of our government for doing this. I don't know. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah. Got somebody's attention.
So, I mean, I think that there's at least a little bit of, the possibility of a lot of truth in this. But I think that everybody needs to use their own, discretion and look it up. His website is davidoates.com. Definitely look it up. He's got all kinds of stuff on there in his reversal database. We're going to play some stuff tonight and talk about some things. And after this next break, we're going to open up the phone lines. What? Because I forgot to do it during our last break. That's why we're opening them up late. Just remember, our call-in line is 978-547-7575. I'll say that again. It is 978-547-7575. And that'll allow you to call us, and we can discuss some of this stuff, which is also pretty dang cool. But when we go to our next break, then I'll actually do what I should have done on my last break. And I was actually planning on doing it, but I didn't for some reason. So, who wants to hear some stuff? Because I'm pretty interested in this. How about you, Jason?
Yep.
Jason says yes. So, some JFK stuff. Now, I'm a big believer that there was a conspiracy to kill JFK. Are you?
Oh yeah,
Jason? I think a lot of people who listen to these kind of shows and stuff probably are. But I've seen the video way too many times. And that last shot that definitely killed him came from the front. And it exited out the back of his head. Because his head goes back to the left. And when that happens, a chunk of his head flies off. And his wife jumps out the back and is reaching for the back of his head that's on the trunk of the car now.
Right.
Don't think that happens in revert when you get shot this way. And it would have blown a big old chunk out of the front of his face, which didn't happen. There was a hole in the front of his face, though, that they tried to hide. And we'll find that in these too, because They actually talk about hiding the some of the stuff in the face. Before we get any further, I know Roger says, what is that? Ozzy was sued over his song Suicide Solution, which was alleged to contain backwards messages that encourage suicide. The parents of John Daniel McCullum, 19-year-old who committed suicide in Riverside, California in 1984, allegedly after listening to the song. Huh. That's something. And then Roger says that Phyllis sued Judas Priest and CBS Records for $6.2 million. Her suit alleged that those backward messages in "Better by You," "Better Than Me" contributed to her son and Bellacamp's actions. Judas Priest insisted that there were no subliminal messages in their album. You see what happens when a craze happens, though.
Yeah.
When someone accuses one thing and then all of a sudden people start looking for answers everywhere. And look, I'm not saying that what we're going to be talking about here is right and another is wrong. I'm just saying that we've got to use our own discretion on all of this. And put it together as evidence. What do you think? Because I think that if in enough time, there's probably enough evidence to corroborate both sides. I mean, in all honesty. If a person talks enough and enough is listened to backwards, you probably hear all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can find something. Well, you know what? I'm going to let Jason look at something real quick so I can try to get our next break queued up, if you don't mind. Can you do that?
What do you want me to look at?
Whatever you want to.
Whatever I want to.
Anything.
Uh-oh.
I just gave Jason anything. It won't take me but a second to get this. I should have done this already.
So when we talk about subliminal messaging, I'm pretty sure that the government has had some kind of program out there.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's called mind control.
Like MK Ultra?
Yeah, that's how they control your mind.
Yeah.
Sending, like, how would you know these trigger words? That, you know, I'm going to say this word. When you hear this word, you're going to do this and that and that and that and that. So it's because your subconscious remembers that, but your aware conscious doesn't.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. You know, I've been looking at this for all week and trying to look at it objectively. That's kind of hard to do sometimes, especially like with the JFK stuff. And then not think that there was a conspiracy. Because I believe that there was a conspiracy. Let's see here. I'm trying to get, for some reason I had them all pulled up, but they didn't pull up.
You know, they analyzed Travis Walton too when he got abducted with the reverse speech
really?
stuff. Yeah.
That's pretty neat. Travis Walton. Now that's a great JFK assassination. I thought I had it pulled up, but I guess I had done something and unpulled it up. So now this one on the JFK assassination, they've got it categorized, right? So you've got the radio announcement. So after he got shot, the announcer that announced it. And then they played some of that backwards. And then they've got Oswald, and then they played it backwards. And then they've got LBJ. And there's some pretty great ones on there. And then after LBJ, they've also got him talking with let's see, they got the mayor, and they've also got him talking to Hoover and some Jack Ruby stuff too. So they've got all kinds of stuff that they went through on this. Now, again, some of these are good. Some of them, I don't know. I don't think that they're that great. And that's looking at it from an EVP standpoint, right? Electronic voice phenomena, because that's what this really kind of is, if you really look at it. So we'll look at some stuff that they've got of Lee Harvey Oswald. And let me know in the chat if everybody can hear this really well. Now, the one I'm about to play is Oswald talking. And when you hear it play in reverse, they play it 3 times. Okay, so they will play it 3 times in reverse. First time at regular speed, then they slow it down, and then they slow it down again, right? So they'll slow it down twice. And I'll play this twice. So the first time I play it, I'm not going to tell you what it says. I'll let you try to figure out what it says. And then I'll play it again, and then I'll tell you what it is that they said and see if it kind of cooperates with you. Like I said, some of these are better than others. So here is Oswald talking to the press.
These peasants are uneducated. They have one of the lowest living standards in all of the Western Hemisphere. You will tell them that. You will tell them that. You will tell them that.
So did you catch those 3, what it said? Kind of have to listen a little hard on that one. It's not one of those great ones, but it isn't one of the worst ones either. So when Oswald's talking, he's talking about the peasants and they're uneducated and everything, and that they have low living standards. And then when they reverse it, he is saying, "Evil soul of Hoover." So listen back one more time and see if you get this. It says, "Evil soul of Hoover" is what they're saying it says.
These peasants are uneducated. They have one of the lowest living standards in all of the Western Hemisphere. You will tell them that. You will tell them that. You will tell them that.
So did you catch that? Evil soul of Hoover.
Yep.
Kind of, it's on the edge of one of those that's, it's good, but it's not great. But that's pretty neat though, right? They catch that off of the fact that he's just talking, right? I mean, this isn't purposefully put in there by an artist or anything else. It's just there. Pretty crazy, right? Now, trying to find another one that I've heard that was pretty good. Let's see. There's so many here. They went through all kinds of stuff. Now, this one right here I find interesting. So, Oswald's talking, and when they reverse it, what he says actually lines up was something that we'll hear Hoover say later on a phone call with LBJ. And what's weird about that is that, you know, Oswald's sitting here talking to the press at the time, I think. And LBJ and Hoover's on a private phone call that's being recorded. And they say almost the same identical thing. And so listen to this one. I don't know. I find this one pretty
You cannot point
fascinating.
at Castro and say that he is a Russian puppet. He is not. He is an independent person, an independent leader of his country, and I believe that was pointed out very well during the October crisis, when Castro very definitely said that although Premier Khrushchev had urged him to have on-site inspection at his rocket bases in Cuba, that Fidel Castro refused. The weaknesses here, the weaknesses here, the weaknesses here,
Did you catch that?
The weakness
Is in the car.
is in the car.
Right. The weakness is in the car. And later on, we'll listen to one that LBJ talks about the same thing. How he is going to do something to the car. Which is crazy. Now, let's play it again so you could understand.
You cannot point at Castro and say
the
that he is a
weakness
Russian
is in the
puppet.
car.
He is not. He is an independent person, an independent leader of his country, and I believe that was pointed out very well during the October crisis, when Castro very definitely said that although Premier Khrushchev had urged him to have on-site inspection at his rocket bases in Cuba, that Fidel Castro refused. The weaknesses here, the weaknesses here, the weaknesses here,
The weakness is in the car. Pretty straightforward. Again, some of these are a lot better than others. That one was pretty decent. I mean, you could almost hear everything that he said. On this one, Oswald talks about.
I didn't know Oswald was that deep into the government and stuff.
So this is something that I've been researching, and it's kind of funny because that I run across all this at the time that I'm researching a lot of stuff about Oswald, right? And I'm watching just tons of stuff, reading tons of stuff, and I find out that so Oswald was in the Marine Corps. I think he was only in for like 3 or 4 years or something. And you know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, he wasn't good. He wasn't really even a good shot," and they try to bring up all these things. But I think some of these people are disinformation agents because people have pulled up have gotten a hold of a lot of his records. So he actually had a higher top secret clearance level than his commanding officer. He was, from the records, went from place to place to place to place a lot. And he was known to have and be in company with a lot of CIA. So they think that it's very possible that he was, when he was in the military, he was already part of the CIA. And that's why he had his clearance was so high and everything else. A lot of these people also say, and 2 people have come forward that were there that day when all this went down with JFK. 2 people have come forward. I've watched their confessions myself. they were able-bodied people, and they confessed that they were there and for the government, but that Oswald was also there with them. So there were 3 people. Oswald was put in a position where he was. So, and them 2 were on the grassy knoll. And they say that their original mission was to take out Kennedy. But on their flight there, it changed. See, what a lot of people don't realize is that the way that the motorcade was going, the original way, it never went by the school book depository. It changed the week before he got there. Is that not crazy? And how would Oswald know that? So Oswald was in with the CIA. So these 2 guys are on camera, and they say that their objective changed to protect the president. And they say when they got on the knoll and they were walking down, the gunshots went off, and they were like, oh crap, we're too late. And so they start hiking it back up to the top of the knoll. And they think that they were all 3 put there to be patsies. They only caught 1, which was Oswald. And the guy almost broke out crying, saying that he knew the truth about Oswald. He's sorry that his family, his kids and stuff, have to deal with the stigma attached to him. But the 2 guys said they know for a fact that Oswald did not shoot the president. He was literally, when he says, I'm a patsy, that's literally what he was. He was set up, but those other 2 guys were too. The other 2 guys just was able to get away. He wasn't able to get away. And so, man, I'm getting all kinds of crazy stuff going on my computer. But yeah, it's it's pretty interesting to see how all this shapes, how it all comes around. And I don't know. I think that, when it comes down to it, it was a government setup. A lot of people want to point at, Oswald was a lone gunman. This happened, that happened. Maybe it was the Russians. Maybe it was whatever. It was our own people. The only way it could be pulled off in the way that it was pulled off is that our people did it.
Yep.
I don't hear the helicopters outside today. ExpressVPN, everybody. Just letting you know. No, they can't trace you. And they are not a sponsor, but they should be. I think we should go to a quick break.
Okay.
Remember, when we come back from the break, we're going to play some more stuff. We're going to play a whole lot more stuff. But the call-in lines will be open. And that is 978-547-7575. Remember this. Live on Spreaker. We're also live on Facebook and YouTube. What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Quentin? What's up, Mr. Roger? How's everybody doing? And everybody that's over here in the Paranormal 411 live chat room, what's up? How's everybody doing? Well, that is a problem. That's why happens with the eyes, right? We see things. Our brain wants to make patterns out of stuff. Well, the same thing happens with audio. It's called audio pareidolia or something like that. where our brains want to make sense out of something that we can't hear. And so I say what they say it is. And so, and then that way, everybody gets to make their own decisions if they heard that or not. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Roger. We're going to take another quick break because it's the top of the hour. And when we could hit a button. But 978-547-7575, that's a call-in number. And that will be open, and I will call it out again when we come back. So then that way people can listen to us live. But they can object and everything, because we love to hear everybody's opinion. Right, Jason?
Oh, yeah.
So remember, we do have a book. Right, Jason?
We do.
It is called East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore. It's on Amazon. It's a great little coffee table book, and definitely check it out. You're what? Paranormal 411, right, Jason?
It is.
Yeah.
411.org for all of your paranormal, extraterrestrial, and cryptid needs.
Hey, this is Eddie from Legends and Lore Pizzeria, and I listen to Paranormal 401. Love y'all and keep it squatchy.
This is Jeff Reagan of the band Catalyst. Visit Paranormal 411. Click on our link on the right-hand side to listen to or purchase any of our albums on BandLab.
Hey, this is Eddie from Legends and Lore Pizzeria in Madisonville, Tennessee. Cool little pizza shop with a paranormal and cryptid theme. Just voted best pizza in Monroe County. Follow us on Facebook at Legends and Lore Pizzeria to get the latest updates and hours, specials, and new menu items.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Paranormal 411. Join us on the website at paranormal411.org. It's free to sign up and become a member. All of our upcoming shows are on the guest and events page. You can also listen to past shows on the website as well. And if you like the show and want to support us, you can do that by becoming a premium member for only $2 a month. Thanks for listening to Paranormal 411. Join us.
All right, we are back.
Oh, yeah, we're back. Want to thank the band Catalyst for allowing us to play their music.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. That was the song Justified. If you want
Justified.
to know a little bit more about Catalyst, you go into our website, paranormal411.org. And on the front page there, you'll see Catalyst's little banner. Click on it, and you can see all their music and purchase it there. They've got some great music, don't they, Jason?
They do.
Awesome. Matter of fact, 2 weekends from now, they're going to be live in Knoxville. So,
Oh, yeah.
whoop, whoop.
Maybe Jeff will come on here and tell us when and where.
Yeah,
'Cause I can't remember.
No, I'm terrible because I should know this by now, but I don't. Remember, our call-in line is, again, 978-547-7575, 978-547-7575. If you want to talk about our subject tonight, David Oates and reverse speech. And we're just barely even getting started. Barely. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
So, who wants to hear a little bit more?
I do.
Jason does. We don't have any calls right now. No.
So David's pulling up files.
I am.
We're talking about the JFK assassination and the use of reverse speech.
Yes. So, so this one is pretty good. So this one is Oswald. Again, we're still on Oswald. A reporter asked him if he has had any legal, was able to have any legal aid or anything, and he says that he was not. And once it starts playing backwards, again, see if you can hear what it is that he says, because I think this is why he was shot.
I like some legal representation. These police officers have not allowed me to have any.
Do you want to hear that one more time before we say it?
Yeah.
Okay. So listen really hard, because this one is one of those that's hard to understand, but once something is said, you could definitely understand it. And I think, again, this is why he was shot by Jack Ruby.
I like some legal representation. These police officers have not allowed me to have any.
Jason? No? You can't hear it?
We'll give him.
See, this right here is everybody hears something a little bit different.
We'll give him something.
So, when it's played backwards, they are saying that he is saying that Oswald says, "I'll reveal the killer."
Okay, now play it again.
Let's play it again.
I like some legal representation. These police officers have not allowed me to have any.
Subject to interpretation. Here's another one. Now,
Just as fast as you people have been getting, but I emphatically deny these charges.
that I, even reading what they say it says, I don't get it. And so this is what I'm saying. When it comes to stuff like this, it kind of falls in like the EVP categories. And for me, when it starts getting, I'm saying we're going to cut this because they're saying, see, I'm the give up. Meaning like he's the patsy. I'll let you hear it again. But this is one that even I know what it says and I don't get it. Again, to get them all.
People hear different things.
Yes. Yeah.
You find that rifle, just dispatches you people have been given, but I emphatically deny these charges. Be down to do that. Be down to do that. Be down to do that.
See, I'm the give up.
I don't hear that.
Yeah, I think I'll reveal the killer was much better. Dent. Oswald says, I did not shoot anybody, sir. I haven't been told what I am here for. And then the reporter asks, do you have a lawyer? And Oswald says, no, sir, I do not. And then it's replayed backwards. And tell me if you can hear what is being said. And this is almost a sentence that has been said.
I didn't shoot anybody, sir. I haven't been told what I'm here for. You have a lawyer? No, sir, I don't.
So this one's a little bit better because I can kind of follow the cadence to this.
3 men walking.
You just missed one word.
I didn't shoot anybody, sir. I haven't been told what I'm here for. You have a lawyer? No, sir, I don't. No free metal wolf. No free metal wolf. No free metal wolf.
So they said that he is saying all 3 men are walking. So he's saying that there's, that's one that's a pretty decent. If you want to put it in the EVP, we're not going to go there. Okay, let's do some LBJ, some Lyndon B. Baines Johnson. um, 21st of November, 1963. Okay. A Tom Jerry lawyer from New York, and sending him down on the new facts, this commission thing. And sometimes if a commission is not trained, it hurts more than it helps. So even the straight speech, he's talking about training, right? And but then the reverse speech is pretty good, if you ask me. Well, I don't remember. Well,
Just
we'll hear
out
it.
a Tom Jerry lawyer from New York and send him down on new facts. This commission thing, Mr. Herbert Hoover tried that, and sometimes a commission that's not trained hurts more than it helps. This man mustn't have died there. This man mustn't have died there. This man mustn't have died there.
Did you hear it, Jason? Do we need to hear it again? Okay, one more time, and then we'll tell you what they say it says.
Just picking out a Tom Jerry lawyer from New York and send him down on new facts. This commission thing, Mr. Herbert Hoover tried that, and sometimes a commission that's not trained hurts more than it helps. This man mustn't have died there. This man mustn't have died there. This man mustn't have died there.
You want to hear it again now? So they're saying that LBJ is saying in reverse, they're saying that it's kind of like he was mad to have doubted that it would work. Pretty much, right?
Just picking out a Tom Jerry lawyer from New York and send him down on new facts. This commission thing, Mr. Herbert Hoover tried. This man mustn't have died there.
It was madness that I had doubt, and I could hear it. Could you hear it once you understood it?
Yeah.
So, let's see. Let's try to find another good one. Right here. So, LBJ, yes. Have a state inquiry that even offer them talking to Hoover again and saying, and then we'll listen to what the reverse speech says.
Vice versa, he'll do it with you. It's in the arrow. It's in the arrow.
Woo! That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, let's listen to it one more time.
And vice versa, he'll do it with you. It's in the arrow.
Said, and we'll listen to it one more time now. Paid the mayor off. So they're saying that he is saying in his reverse speech or subliminal messaging that they paid the mayor off. The Dallas mayor was paid off. So let's listen to it one more time. So they said that they paid the mayor off. That's what it says.
General Texas to make an announcement this morning, of a state inquiry, and that you can offer him your full cooperation, and vice versa, he'll do it with you. It's in the arrow. It's in the arrow. It's in the arrow.
Yep. Do you think it was paid the mayor off or turned the air? I think that the cadence even kind of goes with it, right? So I don't know. I think it was paid the mayor off. And it's crazy though how it almost goes along with it.
See, that's what your mind, your brain is really tell.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that we're asking people to make up their own minds on this, but I think that there is some crazy stuff here. Let's see here. Now this is him addressing Congress on November 27th, 1963, okay? After LBJ talking, he says, Mr. Speaker, Mr. President, members of the House, members of the Senate, my fellow Americans, all I would have given gladly not to be standing here today. Right. So he's saying he wouldn't want to be the president, right? He'd rather things be the way that they were. So let's listen to this.
Speaker, Mr. President, members of the House, members of the Senate, my fellow Americans. All I have, I would have given gladly.
Jason. I think this is going to be one of those that are, once I tell you, that you're going to be like, I gotcha. Roger says he heard what you said. That's funny. All right, we're going to say hear it one more time.
Speaker, Mr. President, members of the House, members of the Senate, my fellow Americans. All I have, I would have given gladly not to be standing here today. He is done. He is done. He is done.
Anything, Jason? So they are saying that it is saying, or he is saying in reverse speech, see the con. He is saying, see the con. So he is saying that, you know, they're conning everybody, that they really are the ones who did it.
Speaker, Mr. President, members of the House, all I have, I would have given gladly not to be standing here today. See the con. See the con. See the con.
See the con. I could kind of see it. It's they're not asking for AC though. Let's see. There's so many of these. It's so crazy. If you could only see the database that they've got on here. Here's one. So this is on the 20th day of January, 1961. JFK told his countrymen that our national work would not be finished in the first 1,000 days. So this is LBJ saying, right? He's like, on January 1961, John F. Kennedy told his countrymen that our national work would not be finished in the first 1,000 days. That's what LBJ is saying. So listen to what they said in reverse. I think this one's pretty fascinating.
On the 20th day of January in 1961, John F. Kennedy told his countrymen that our national work would not be finished in the first 1,000 days.
What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and I shouldn't have looked at it, but
What do you think? Do you think that it's close?
it's pretty clear.
It's a pretty clear EVP. Someone said something in the chat room there. Can anyone else hear what he said? Louis by the Kingsmen. I don't know. But I know it was back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s is when the craze went on it anyway. We're going to play this again and see if anyone else hears this.
On the 20th day of January in 1961, John F. Kennedy told his countrymen that our national work would not be finished in the first 1,000 days.
We knocked him off. We knocked him off is what it says. Or at least that's what they're saying that it says. That's what I'll say. And I think it's pretty close. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah.
Pretty close.
On the 20th day of January
We knocked him
in
off.
1961, John F. Kennedy told his countrymen that our national work would not be finished in the first 1,000 days.
We knocked him off.
Wow.
I think that's pretty cool. We're going to go over to some J. Edgar Hoover. And this is while he is talking to LBJ. Let's see. Trying some word on today. This woman, his wife, had been very hostile. She would not cooperate. So I guess they're talking about JFK's wife. And tell me if you could hear what they're saying.
Now, there's one angle of this thing that it's an audio mistake. It's an audio mistake. It's an audio mistake.
Can you hear it? And see if anyone else hears it.
Now, there's one angle of this thing that I'm hopeful to get some word on today. As a mistake. It's an audio mistake.
So I thought it was pretty crazy. Now this one's pretty crazy. This one is Hoover and Johnson talking, fired at the president. And then this is one of those that the reverse speech goes along. Definitely listen to this one really closely.
And you haven't fired at me?
No,
All three at the president.
all three at the president, and we have them. Two of the shots fired at the president were splinted. It was false.
This be your fault.
Part where both of them are talking. And they're saying that it's crazy because it's like both of them are thinking the same thing at the same time. And this one's it is a hard one. So I'm going to go ahead and say what they say it is. I could hear parts of it. Go to all of David Oates' stuff is on reversespeech.com. That's where all of his stuff is. And you could search for JFK assassinations and just all kinds of stuff that they've done. And that's where a lot of this stuff is being found. And but the one we just listened to, they're saying 2 fallen. There's 3 or 4 that hit. So they're talking about the shots, right? So forward, they're talking. LBJ says, "Did any of them fire at me?" Right, and Hoover says no. So, but they were talking about how many shots and all that other stuff. And then when it was played backwards, they're saying 2 fallen. There's 3 or 4 that hit. Now, I do hear the 2 fallen and that hit. That's what I hear. That part where they're both speaking, I don't get it. I really don't get it. But maybe you could hear it.
And you haven't fired at me?
No,
all three at the president.
All three at the president, and we have them. 2 of the shots fired at the president were splinted. It was false.
This be your fault.
It was false.
This be your fault.
It was false.
This be your fault.
Again, I get 2 fallen and then that hit. There's 3 or 4. I really don't hear that. Do you? I don't. So sorry, but I don't hear it. But I thought it was pretty neat though. Let's see. Here's one where Hoover is telling them about them taking JFK to the hospital, and on the way they was trying to massage his heart, I guess, and a bullet fell out. And then in reverse speech, you hear something else.
In trying to massage his heart at the hospital, on the way to the hospital, they apparently loosened that, and it fell onto the stretcher. Hold it, video. Hold it, video. Hold it, video.
Did you hear that?
Something human.
Gonna listen one more time. Someone said something. Yes, David Oates has YouTube and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So here it is again.
In trying to massage his heart at the hospital, on the way to the hospital, they apparently.
So So this is one of those that actually goes along with what they were talking about, right? They were talking about they were massaging his heart. Well, and then in reverse, you hear them say, "Oh, bullet, part of the deal." Because remember, they had that magic bullet that actually looked like it was never fired, which is impossible. If anybody's ever fired a bullet and it's hit stuff, you know, it crunches it and smushes it up. But that magic bullet is perfect. So here they're saying that it says bullet part of the deal. So listen again.
Loosened that, and it fell onto the stretcher. Oh, that's out of the deal. Oh, that's out of the deal. Oh, that's out of the deal.
Bullet part of the deal. And so that's one of those it's a pretty decent one. And I don't think it's easy to pick up. But it does go along with what they're saying too. I think this is just pretty fascinating stuff. Here's one where Hoover's talking, and it's the other part. It's where he says they apparently loosened that fell onto the stretcher, and we recovered that, right? So it's right after the other. So you have two things that are being backwards at almost the same, within the same sentence. Almost.
The third shot is a complete bullet. That's what shot it, and that's rolled out of the president's head. It tore a large part of the president's head off, and in trying to massage his heart at the hospital, on the way to the hospital, they apparently loosened that, and it fell onto the stretcher, and we recovered that.
This one's a hard one. So they are saying that it says, what's up, Jeff? They're saying that perception is the smaller threat than a garden shooter. So what they perceive is a smaller threat than them knowing that there was a shooter on the grassy knoll, I guess, right? So listen again.
The third shot is a complete bullet. That's what shot it, and that's rolled out of the president's head. It tore a large part of the president's head off, and in trying to massage his heart at the hospital, on the way to the hospital, they apparently loosened that, and it fell onto the stretcher, and we recovered that.
So perception is the smaller threat than a garden shooter. That's one of those hard ones, but I could kind of hear it. This next one now is Hoover, and I think I've listened to this one before, and I think this one was pretty good. Again, this is Hoover and LBJ talking, and listen to see what you think that he says.
And while they had police signs along the curbstone, looking at the crowd, when the parade came along, the police turned around and looked at the parade.
Did you get that? Yeah, Roger, that's one that's a pretty hard. More time?
Yeah, let me hear it again.
Okay, here we go.
And while they had police signs along the curbstone, looking at the crowd when the parade healed them all.
So they're saying that he says, "And I killed them all, I make you." So Hoover is pretty much saying that he killed JFK and anyone involved, and that he made LBJ president. So he killed them all, and then I make you. Let's try it one more time.
While they had police signs along the curbstone, looking at the crowd, when the parade came along, the police turned around and looked at the parade. Ernest healed them all. Ernest healed them all. Ernest healed them all.
When I killed them all, Oswald, the flaw was with the car. So Hoover is, again, we know who he's talking to, right? So LBJ. So he says here, the second shot hit the governor. Okay? And then you'll hear what it says when it's played backwards.
Which hit the president. He was hit for the first and the third. The second shot hit the governor.
Kind of on that slowest one is where I hear it the best, I think. Did you get any clue? Any word? Not even one word? Huh. Okay.
Dispensary, maybe.
Shot hit the governor.
That's kind of hard, but once you... Oh, Roger says I hear kill them all on the hill. Huh. Okay. That was on that last one. Okay. I can kind of... There. It will shoot. They doubt the pistol there. It will shoot. There is another one, and I'm not finding it. I missed it somehow. Well, it's part of the deal. Here they talk about neither the police officers on either side, they didn't make a move to push him away or to grab him. It wasn't until...
Neither of the police officers on either side made any move to push him away or to grab him. It wasn't until after the gun was fired that they then moved. That they're out of the tail.
Did you hear anything, Jason?
Neither of the police officers on either side made any move to push him away or to grab him. It wasn't until after the gun was fired that they then moved. That they're out some out to the tail. That they're out some out to the tail. That they're out some out to the...
So they're saying that the officers were complicit in not protecting him, and that they're not going to tell nothing.
Neither of the police officers on either side made any move to push him away or to grab him. It wasn't until after the gun was fired that they then moved. That they're out some out to the tail. That they're out some out to the tail. That they're out some out to the tail.
Did you hear it that time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. They talk about the car, right? And I think
It's the presidential car in usually the presidential car in the past has had steps on the back next to the bumpers, and there have usually been one on either side standing on those steps at the back bumper. After the talk,
You're saying after the talk, we will set it up. So they will set up how. So after the talk, we set it up.
Usually the presidential car in the past has had steps at the back bumper. After the talk, we'll set it up. After the talk, we'll set it up. After the talk, we'll set it up.
After the talk, we'll set it up. What do you think? Do you hear it?
I hear set it up for sure.
Roger. The ass of the car was up. Remember, we do have a call-in line. It's 978-547-7575. If anyone wants to call for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
No sense in taking a break yet. So that's some of the stuff on there. I mean, there's hundreds of these files. There's some of Jack Ruby talking. I haven't really listened to any of those, so I don't know. So let's do a quick little switch over to some astronauts. Jason, did we land on the moon?
I think we did.
Do you? If the car is twerking, right? Let's twerk it. I can't twerk it. You gotta have something to twerk it.
Illusion of JFK. I doubt it.
You doubt what?
Things was just.
I think some are really good. I think some are and some are
Yeah.
And we just listened to just a few. Now there's tons of them. Like I say, go on reversespeech.com, listen to your heart's content. You can spend hours on there.
And you got to realize this is just what he thinks it says.
Yes. Yeah. Well, listen to it 100 times and see if you get the same thing or not. You know, maybe Roger's right. Maybe the ass of the car was up.
Maybe they wanted the air conditioner turned off.
I tell you, I do think that it was a conspiracy.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he was onto something by doing this because
The way they come after him.
yeah, they started shooting his house up. They burnt his house down. I mean, they did all these things. They called and said, hey, leave JFK alone and all that crap. I think that they were afraid that he would come across maybe enough stuff to implement some people. And they didn't want that. And that's why the government did what they did. And, I mean, again, I was talking about, you know, diving deep into this specific topic, for a little bit here lately. And a guy said it pretty perfectly. And this guy was a detective, a police detective. And he said, if it was an open and shut case, right, and they caught the murderer and it was done, then it was a murder investigation that was completed and done. There would be no files to hold back for 70 plus years. There would be none of that because it's a murder case. It'd be open and shut, done, over with. So what is it that they're hiding that they want to make sure certain people are dead before some of this stuff comes out?
Yeah.
But that also shows a problem with our government then, that they are complicit in murdering somebody, covered it up, then the government's at fault for covering it up. Whether it was 70 years ago or today, the government should be held responsible. Now they're going to shoot my house up. Power will be off here in just a minute. It has happened before. I don't know.
So what do you got on the astronauts?
So we have some stuff on the moon landing, but I don't see the one that I am looking for. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And this is Armstrong talking.
Okay, your press looks like it's clear and okay. But they're about to come over the sill. Oh, yes, good on me. Oh, yes, good on me. Oh, yes, good on me.
You still. That's all I can get.
Okay, one more time.
Okay, your press looks like it's good on me. Oh, yes, good on me.
He stole the mummy.
Oh, yes, good on me.
Wife, one more time.
Okay, your press
I stole the mummy.
like clear and okay.
I like that one better.
But they're about to come over the sill. Oh, yes, good on me.
Now, their interpretation of that is, I don't know. That's their interpretation of what that means. And I think, again, that may be up for interpretation itself. But that, you know, we've got to show both sides of things where sometimes things are just
Gibberish.
weird. Right? Why feel the vomit? What does that have to do with the moon landing? Nothing. Oh, I've seen it. Yes. Dang it. I got the. So that sucks. Because I know it's here.
I stole the mummy.
Oh, my God.
Has he been working on this stuff?
Pretty much since the living in Australia.
I just wonder, because it's on conspiracies, most of it.
And he teaches, we get a lot into politics, but he does have stuff on the Clintons talking and stuff like that too. So all he does is just go through and just start listening to stuff backwards. That's already, you know, I mean, you know, everything that he's doing has to be out there in the ether, right? So he could literally take our show and probably pick it apart, right? And say we're saying all kinds of crazy stuff. Vip, vip, vip. You know, Freddy is the devil. And and that brings back something that's hilarious because when I was younger and my buddy in Giants Playground in Montana. That sounds like fun, Roger. So when Jeff and I were young, well, something happened. It fell. Yeah, it fell and it broke. And so it unwound. Well, we wound it back up. We did it, but we made it go backwards. So we put it in backwards, I guess. Either way it goes, it was crazy. So we was like, oh, this is fun. Was listening to it. Not even having nothing to do with this backward masking stuff, right? It was funny. a couple of teenage kids just getting a laugh. Whoop, 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 Freddy is the devil. Whoop, 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 Freddy is the devil. Just as plain as anything. And Jeff and I looked at each other, was like, that's crazy. Rewind it. You know? So, I mean, this stuff is there. But now, did he put it there? Because it was definitely, I think it's possible.
Yeah.
Now, after all the stuff he did with where some of it's like, hey, we need to keep the secret and some stuff like that. And some of it is yes, we made it to the moon. So, you know, but definitely check this out, man. It's neat. It's a neat subject. And we barely even, and I think it's fascinating. I think Jason thinks it's fascinating. That's why we did the show. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. I've always thought it was pretty cool. I used to listen to stuff backwards. My buddy,
or
I've done it with vinyl before, but my buddy, he had got this recorder and it would play backwards. So we used it a lot.
Really? Right.
But
wow.
Might have been the 90s. But it was pretty wild.
Huh. So Jason has been doing this for a while.
I buried Paul.
You know, that's some pretty fascinating stuff too.
What about smoke marijuana? Smoke marijuana.
They don't want to enlighten people.
That was on Another One Bites the Dust.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Huh. I buried Paul. Smoked the Mary J.
That what, number 9 we listened to earlier?
Yes.
What
yeah.
was it? Turn Me On, Dead Man?
Turned Me On, Dead Man. Yeah.
Yep.
That was a pretty crazy one too. And some of the symbolism that they said that was on the covers of some of those art on the albums, they said that it was pretty crazy. I don't know. I think that it's definitely a rabbit hole you could go pretty dang far down. I mean, look at this guy. You know, David Oates has made a career out of it. But, you know, again, on the other side of it, you have our government that is pretty much saying that they believe what he's saying because they've acknowledged that they were looking into him, looking into his files, and a lot of stuff. So, I mean, I think there's something to this. Is it what he says that it is our subconscious? Something in the mix of all of this, and I didn't have time to pull it up, but it's believed when we are kids, and I'm going to try this. I've got a grandson that's only 2 months old, so when he gets a little bit older, I'm going to start doing this. That kids learn to speak back. Examples of a little, not even a toddler at this point, little bitty, and the mama's got it, and then it's goo goo gaga, and they play it backwards, and it actually said something, and I don't remember what it said. But then there was another one where a mother was walking her baby. It's what they do, right? They just blah, blah, blah. Well, they played it reverse for what this one said, though. What's that in reverse? But you hear it, and it sounds like, blah, 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 you know, like a kid talking. And, but when it was played in reverse, the kid was asking, what's that? Oh, I think the first one, said, and it was Goo Goo Gaga, and it said hello. Yeah.
Possible.
So, maybe we do learn things backwards, and then our subconscious mind, it's kind of like they say our vision is, right? We see things, but then it gets flipped, and then we see things the way that they are. Maybe our mind's the same way, and maybe it flips them, but I don't know. It's fascinating.
Yep.
It's fascinating. Yes. Roger says he did the Aussie thing back in the 80s. What was that? Party real hard and bite bats' heads off? I remember you back in the day, and that was back when I was. So, but no, remember tonight we was talking about David Oates. We was also talking about reverse speech, and how fascinating it is, and some of the things that we've seen in pop culture, right, throughout time, and I'm closing out. I think that when things like this start coming up and you start having it flow through, like it did in the 80s and 90s, and churches were the real big proponent of all this because, they were trying to, don't let your kids listen to rock and roll because there's the devil music, and really big. But then it started what we're talking about tonight, right? David Oates doing what he was doing, and it took it further because he started going through people's speeches and seeing if he could find stuff. I don't know. You have anything, Jason?
No, I think you covered it all.
I covered it all?
Yeah. Very good.
Well, I think we did a good job tonight. I want to thank everybody that listened to us on Facebook, 411 live chat room at paranormal411.org. And definitely go to paranormal411.org. You can sign up, become a member. It is free, right, Jason? It doesn't cost you nothing. Remember, we also have a book. It's called East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore. That is on where? But definitely keep that going. If you buy one, you have to rate it 5 stars.
Might get a subliminal message in it.
There may be one in there. Hey, there's definitely a really cool picture in there. That's a fact. But I want to thank everybody that came on and listened, and anything again. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next week. And we will look into the ancient megaliths in Montana. That sounds pretty neat, doesn't it, Jason? Mm-hmm. We like talking about ancient megaliths and stuff, especially here in America, right?
Yep.
Because that could tie into what we talked about a few weeks ago with the giants and stuff like that. So, thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Paranormal411. Join us on the website at paranormal411.org. It's free to sign up and become a member. All of our upcoming shows are on the guest and events page. You can also listen to past shows on the website as well. And if you like the show and want to support us, you can do that by becoming a premium member for only $2 a month. Thanks for listening to Paranormal 411.